Hey Legends, coming into round 19, most people don't have many trains left, so we've got one team here to go through, and I'm just going to go through all of those YouTube questions there, so thank you for dropping them in there, and if you are watching this and you've given me a question the last sort of day, we'll get through that definitely in there in that one. So we've got this one team here currently coming 790th and asking for a lot of help, so surely it's not too bad with 5 trades to remaining here, but we will get in and have a look there. Have 12 this week as well if SJ plays, only missing a wing fullback or a center. So you're looking at down in that position there, and obviously cash out could be is the first thing that I look at, especially when there's you've got Sloaney who's out, and he'd be an easy one just to drop down to a guy that plays obviously this week there. You could go to a keeper style player in the centers, given you currently just have Manu as your only keeper. The center in there, Ramian's kind of okay, so you could get another one like a Penasini or something like that, or you could just go to another cheapie down there like a Munro or a Seb Chris or someone like that for sure. Hassan, the team's going to make it a little bit annoying next week, but looking to trade Sloan and Turpin this week, give me 1.16 to downgrade Sloan. Yep, that's what we said. Trade Turpin to a Grant next week for a hooker, sure. Yeah, definitely. Oh, you got Brandon Hands up there already, which is good. Hold Haas for sure. Not sure about Dylan Edwards picking him up in round 14. Yeah, it's been annoying, unfortunately, but he's lost a fair bit of cash now, and he'll be sweet. He usually seems to go even better with Cleary in the squad. Just looking at it, would need to get a mid for round 20 as Horse, Haas, and JDB are out. Yeah, the Haas one is very, very frustrating there. I think with the mid for next week, just wait until next week there for sure. So this week, probably just downgrade, just do the one trade, Sloaney down to get the 13 this week. And then really launch next week. You can get that mid if you need. You could have that sort of 3-week rental type of guy in the mids if you want. You could go on Madison. You could go one of these types of players just to cover for that week. And I know a lot of us are going to struggle with a mid next week, especially if you have Haas. But even myself, I have Horsburgh and also Jack DeBellin. I have Torhall Harris and Hopgood that'll play there. And that's if there's no further injuries to any of those two in the upcoming round. So that's that right now. You've got the extra trades, man. You've got 13 available. You use the one next week. You'll be able to use sort of 3 or 4 next week, very easily. If you wanted to, you could use 2, whatever you need to get to a really, really good team from next week. But you have a lot of keepers on your bench, which is great. And hopefully Johnson plays. If he doesn't, then you could use the second trade this week if you wanted to. You do have that luxury that a lot of people do not there at the moment. So let's go through some of the comments while we are here, which will be fun. So Luke Adams asks, how's Buller to Munro? I find this a very, very interesting one because he said it gives me a ton of cash for upgrades to Fifi and Grant next week. Going to trade Buller anyway. So if you are going to trade him anyway next week, then you could look at that as go, okay, I get the cash available that I could use those trades next week. It wouldn't matter because you get the 4 trades. You could save the trade this week, use it next week. That would be fine. If you want to, I understand the trying to reduce the cash losses that you might get. Munro should be able to score okay, but I would imagine Buller would probably score better. He didn't score great on the weekend, but that's his lowest score by far, and they got 74 put on him, and I doubt it's going to be as bad. Sharks don't have as good a defense. They seem to leak points most weeks, and they're definitely not looking as good as what the Cowboys looked last week. So I think it's completely fine if you want to, but either way is going to be cool there because you do have enough trades next week that you could just do it then anyway. What 2 would you play in the edges out of Nakora, IPAP, and or Bateman? I'm having trouble. Who should I play? Can't loop as they play each other tonight in first game. Cheers, Jamie. I would go Nikora. Yeah, it's a tough one. Nikora and IPAP, maybe? I think IPAP's going to be up against... No, he's going to be up against Wilton. Looks like... No, that's wrong. IPAP will be up against Nikora most likely now that he's going to change. I'd assume he changes to the left, where he was previously. But I do think he likes the right better. So probably Nicker or IPAP, just. It seems like he can get that consistency a little bit more. But Bateman playing the full 80 is going to be nice as well. So either way, I don't have the 3 combo. So yeah, it's a little bit of a guessing game. Definitely Nickera, and then you can flip a coin on the other one. Does Hopgood play round 19? He definitely does, guys. So anyone outside of the 18th, so 18th man doesn't play, 19th and 20th, they do play for their team. How would you play this? I have Hines and SJ in my halves with Boyd at hooker at the moment with Simkin on my bench. With the rumours that SJ may be out, how would you line it up? I would make sure that I have Boyd as first interchange. So from there, he's allowed to be moved from, he can cover hooker or he can cover the half position there. So just make sure that Boyd is in number 1. so that you have SJ starting, and if he happens to get cooked, you can obviously just move them easily in that one. And obviously if SJ plays, then Simpkin, you're going to want to be in that position as well. So if you have another cover man at hooker, then that would be cool as well. That you could do that as well, is how I would line that up. Centre Smith might be done, but there's also a good chance that he still sticks in that squad and Sammy Walker comes back through New South Wales Cup. So I personally wouldn't be trading him this week, as if he plays, I think he's going to be able to keep scoring well and make you some good cash, but not done at this point. Who do you think is more of a keeper, Harris or AFB? AFB is definitely more of a keeper. He's a lot more expensive though. He's a good 100k more expensive than Harris, and he has more of an upside. Harris is carrying injuries, so you can't say that he's the clear top dog at the moment, but he's definitely going to do a solid job there for sure. Okay. Toby, you already have 5 mids in Horse, JDB, Harris, Haas, and Hopgood. However, we're now missing Horse, JDB, and Haas next week. What should I do? They're all holds. They're all guns. So Hopgood will be kind of your 3rd or 4th edge. You can play him at that one. The other guys, I think, are very much clear keepers in their position. Obviously, you're not trading anyone that's playing this week or next. So yeah, just all hold, really. That's how it is. Thoughts on Bird, Depenasini, and Turpin Hands? This leaves me with 327 next week to upgrade some keepers like Grant and Fafita. Also, there'll be 1 trade left and the extra 8. You've got 4 likes on there. That tells you that is a beauty. Well done. Cheers for the video, mate. You're welcome. Just wondering if you think Moses to Fafita is a good trade or sideways backwards. I've got SJ Hines, Boyd, and Ponga that can cover that spot. Fafita is out this week as well as Moses, so I would not be doing that. I think Moses is going to be fine. If you've held this long, like myself, he's likely to be held for the entirety of the season. If you have SJ, if he plays this week and misses next week, that means he's going to miss 2 of the next few weeks. So I think SJ would then be a sell to someone like Cleary or to Fafita or something like that if you want to. I need a mid this week, so I was thinking either Harris or Madison. Which one do you reckon? I think Harris is going to score better just because Madison's playing in the 6 jersey, and Madison also has some cash to lose. Thanks, Matt, for helping out. That's Maddie Thompson that was on the video with us, which is cool. He's trading at Dylan Edwards, a bad idea. Sick of his 30s, looking to go to Sarko, which will give me 13 this week. I feel like he's lost a lot of cash now, so I think he's worth holding at this point. Make the decision based on now and what you think he can do going forward, rather than the cash losses and the low scores you've got previously. A lot of times, emotionally, it's easier to make that decision and go, oh, I'm just sick of his scores, and punt him. Whereas in this case, you should be looking at where he's at now and what he can do going forward and what he did with Cleary in the team. Sloan is a sell, unfortunately. Misses the next few weeks, definitely. It was just a bit of a stopgap for this next couple of weeks, and hopefully you got a couple of good scores out of him. Farnworth center option, my rank is 10,000 plus. Of course he is, but he doesn't play this week. Would you go Munster or DCE next week if you had to pick? I think personally DCE, just. Sloan has F'd him, yep. Still having Garrick becomes DVP and a solid center option. That would be delightful, and I'll be picking him up if that's the case. Picking up Hines round 7. Your entire Discord laughed at me, but I knew Freddie was even more cooked than me. Yeah, well, fair enough. Hines round 7 was always an amazing pickup. Well done. Bit of cricket chat. It was out, but having played cricket my whole life, I wouldn't be happy getting someone out like that. Should have called him back. It's happened so many times, and it's just normal. It's just a part of cricket. They're just being sore losers at the moment. Unfortunately, you've seen all the videos that have come out of him doing it, and him doing it in way worse circumstances, where he's literally waiting for a guy just to lift his foot like a centimetre off the ground while he's within his crease. So, yeah, there's a reason why he's quiet at the moment and everyone else is talking. Thoughts and Dillerberts to Will Kennedy for a few weeks. No. You have an overload of fullback, but only 1 playing this week. Well, that tells us there's no point bringing in another fullback. You could definitely go huge against the Tigers, but huge usually means like 50 or 60 for Kennedy. Remember there's a time there where we didn't even want to pick him up. He was like 220k. Johnson may be out. Don't have Hines. That hurts with 0 trades. Drinkwater still a buy, and who to get for 9 once Smith returns for Roosters. Well, Hands this week, and then Harry Grant would be the play. Drinkwater would still be a buy next week. There we go, last one. Current plan to finalise my team. Bullard or Lemu to Garrick, Cook to Grant, to Toller to Murray, Turpin to Little, Turpin/Little to Cleary /Hands. That's a big change. Simpkin to an edge. Have 4 and 5, been sitting on since Cleary went down. Any thoughts on the edge? You're going to have to, that's a lot of massive upgrades. I think it's going to be really hard to get to, but I hope that you can. Hoping Cleary doesn't go 80 minutes in his first 2 weeks back and drops down to 950 before I get him. He will play 80 minutes for sure. unless he gets injured. So yeah, just make sure that you do have enough cash for all of those. You might not be able to do all of them, so just be aware of that. But thank you for that one, guys. Obviously short and sharp. Most people are going to have more trades next week, so there should be more to talk about, more teams to go over as well. But thank you for being here.